Hi everyone, I'm Cristina Blezin. I'm a Salesforce consultant with Milo Massimo. We're a Salesforce CPQ partner. Have you ever wondered how to make sure that the sales reps are selling a product respecting the minimum quantity required? Say they should add to a quote a minimum of 10 and not less. So there are a few ways this can be ensured depending on the business context. So the most obvious solution, if the product is part of a bundle as a component, is to use the minimum quantity field. On the product option, here it is. So this field sets the minimum quantity allowed for a certain option. Now remember that the minimum options field on the product feature, this one here, has a different use. So it sets the minimum number of options for a feature. It works like count, not sum, by counting the number of records, not the actual values. As such, it is worth mentioning the quantity and the quantity editable fields. So if you populate both fields, for example, 10 for quantity and true for quantity editable, so the starting quantity for this product option will be 10, and the sales reps will be able to change it. But at least 10 will be required if we set the minimum quantity to 10 as well. The product validation rule should test a summary variable for quote line quantity when the product is the concerned product. So this product rule should contain at least 2 error conditions. So the first error condition, it defines the product code as a tested field. So otherwise the rule would trigger regardless of whether the concerned product is added or not to the quote. Beware that product codes and product name are not the same. So product code being a product number or an internal code used to identify the product. And the second error condition checks the quote line's quantity with the help of a summary variable by aggregating the quantity field. Now, if you use the quantity field as a tested field, in this case, so first, again, you'd have to add it to the pick list on the error condition object. Remember that it won't aggregate the quantity of all the quote lines for the product because it looks at each separate quote line. And when setting up the product rule, don't forget to enter an error message for the product validation rule to be displayed when it is fired. So the message should be specific and tell the user exactly what conditions should be met for the quote to be saved. One important thing to mention here is that such a product validation rule in different business contexts might be applicable only to new quotes, and it shouldn't fire on amendments, for example. In this case, it would be necessary to add another error condition for the rule to fire only on a certain quote type. First, you'd have to add the type field that indicates the type of quote to the tested field pick list on the error condition object and set it to the necessary value. So, for example, in our case, that is quote. Now, let's try and test it. So we have here quote. Let me add product B to it. Okay. Select. Okay, now as it was set up, the starting quantity that is being added is 10. And as you can see, I can modify it. Okay, let us add more than 10, 12. Quick save. Yep, no problems here. Let me add less than 10 and see what happens. Quick save. Okay, as expected, you can see the error message here that prevents me from saving the quote when the quantity is less than 10 per the business requirement. Now, that's all for today. Thank you for watching.